I thought someone was coming, but let's review this. What's going on, guys? It's Shay here. Welcome back, guys, to another prop review. So today, guys, I'm going to be showing you guys the AbaLaser, aka the Thundersaurus Blaster from Power Rangers Dino Thunder, or Bakuryuu Sentai Abaranger, which is one of my favorite Sentai seasons. I recently just started watching it, actually. I've been watching the show out of order a lot. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is, I got a new jacket recently, and just meaning yesterday, and I'm going to zip it up because I feel like it. So surprisingly, this thing only took me about, I would say, a good 2 days to actually make the prop. To paint it, it literally took me about a good few hours. So at least that's something, you know? So also, don't mind if I keep on looking this way. There's a bug keep on flying behind my head. I don't know what's going on with that. So with that being said, let's begin. I really need to change my intro for when we start something, like when I say let's begin, because you know, I've been doing it ever since I started my channel, but let's go ahead and do this. So, first off, the AbaLaser in Abaranger is a pretty powerful sidearm used by the Abarangers, by the Core 3. It's never used by AbaRed Black, which is the Black Ranger, but it was used once by AbaRed White. AbaReKiller, which was the White Ranger in that series, he basically picked it up and kind of used it against AbaRed during their fight, and which is probably by far my favorite scene in Abaranger 2D, because AbaReKiller / White Dino Thunder Ranger looks badass with a gun. Like, prove me if I'm wrong. Here's some pictures on the screen. Prove me if I'm wrong if he does not look like, if he like, doesn't he look cool with a gun? Like, because he doesn't have one, because AbaReKiller or White Dino Ranger has a sword / like a little like pin thing, like, you know, both of them do, but I think White Dino Ranger and Power Rangers, you know, I think he just uses the sword more than anything on the thing. So yeah, so first off, the AbaLaser is, as I said, mainly used, but it is just used by the Core 5 Abarangers, and not Core 5, Core 3 I meant, and it was only used by AbaReKiller once, and that one time was when him and AbaRed were fighting each other, because they just decided to do that. I don't know what the freak is going on with this bug. I'm about to kill you. Anyways, sorry about that. But the prop itself reminds me of what it looks like in the actual show. Now, when I looked at an episode, like I'm looking at multiple. I just got done watching episode 38 of the show, even though I'm only supposed to be on episode 3 because I've watched episode 1 and 2. Then I try going to find the AbaReKiller and AbaRed fight scene, but I still can't find it in an episode because they won't tell me. So, what's really funny is that what the Ranger Wiki states is that the AbaLaser is not the best to be used out of a suit, because if you use the gun mode out of suit, it will have a crap ton of recoil. But that's not the case, because in episode 38, which is the episode I just got done watching, actually, Emiri Imanka, which is an ally of the Abarangers, which made her own suit, AbaRed had given her his AbaLaser, and she used it, but it didn't have any recoil. Like, it had none, especially when she held it like this. Obviously the way you're supposed to hold it, but they sometimes hold it one-handed because it sometimes makes sense, but also looks cooler one-handed. So yeah, I mean, like, it has no, like, it doesn't produce any recoil. It's just exactly how it is out of, like, when you're in a suit. And obviously this thing does transform into a sword. This is the blade, and I think there's some button here. You push the handle back, you twist the blade forward, and you have a sword. Sadly, obviously, this does not turn into a sword because, you know, I'm not that talented to make a prop like that yet. And even if I did, I would probably sell that to see how well it would go. I don't know, but I took a look at the props in the show. Like, I've taken a look at multiple props and, like, you know, how they look in the show or whatever, and that type of stuff, and they look fairly big, especially if you don't hold it the right way. If you hold it like this, the gun looks really freaking big in your hand. And I have big hands, okay? I have fairly manly hands, but, you know, thin fingers, obviously. That doesn't matter. But, bro, like, I have big hands, but this thing still looks big and very nice size in my hand, because the toy version of this in Japan is actually fairly small, and obviously the blade is small. Like, the gun itself is just small. And like, I just don't like that, so I decided to make my own prop because, you know, AbareKiller used it. But I think in Abaranger they use the gun more than they do in Dino Thunder. They mostly use well, when they ever use this thing at all, they mostly use the sword. In Dino Thunder, I don't think they typically use the gun like that, like the gun form. And yes, it is a laser gun. It's not a firearm. It's a laser gun because it hints the name AbaLaser. And if you guys don't know what Abare means, it means rampage in English, which I absolutely love for a couple reasons. But anyway, so basically it's called the Rampage Laser. If it was called the AbareLaser, it would have been called in English the Rampage Laser, which makes a whole lot of sense because I think this thing is really freaking powerful, like in the actual show, and I think it's really freaking powerful. So there's one detail that that's driving me crazy that I did not get, and that was the Abaranger / Dino Thunder symbol right here on the grip, on both sides actually. However, though, I did get the bottom of the grip here. I got the gold trim, very crudely drawn, and I got the barrels at least. It is a double barrel pistol, by the way. It's a pistol and it's double barreled, just like the Gabble Revolver. Now, sadly, in the Dino series of this, get the fuck out of my way. Sadly, for the Dino series of this right here, oh my goodness, this is getting on my nerves. How much wrong? Only 6 minutes? Damn, I've been explaining that stuff that fast? Okay, whatever. So sadly, for anybody who loves like a gun that transforms into a sword, sadly this would have been an end for that in the Dino series of Sentai and Power Rangers, because the next season, like, the gun would just be a standalone version. There would be a standalone version of a sword and a standalone version of a gun in the next Sentai and Power Ranger series, which obviously would have been Bakuryuu and Dino Charge. I mean, that they doing that to me again. So yeah, sadly this would have been, because the first one obviously was Zyuranger or Mighty Morphin, where they had the blade blasters / ranger guns, where for some reason they were on their left. I don't know why, because you would want to pull, well, obviously it's not in gun mode, but if it was in gun mode, you would want to pull it from here, and like pull it from here, not from here, unless you're left-handed. Or you could just do this, you know, which obviously wouldn't have looked cool as well. But I mean, like, it would have been, this is something. But I mean, after that, there was really nothing else in terms of a gun that transforms into a sword as well. The only time we really ever saw that was in Tokyuger with the Toki Blaster, which was also a sidearm. It wasn't a change or anything. So yeah, so I guess that's something. I do like this. It's really cool. However, though, Gabble Revolver still ranks my favorite. So I will do a shooting test, and sadly I don't have the Gabble Revolver out here. And also, you guys can easily tell already, there is no trigger, or there's no trigger guard. I guess so that way you can freely move your hand in here, or like freely have your fingers going through, so that way when you shoot, it's not that bad. And even though Ranger Wiki says that this gun has a lot of recoil if you don't use it in an Abare suit or when you're transformed, which is 100% not true. But if you use it in sword, it obviously doesn't do anything because, you know, it's a freaking sword. So what I've heard is that the sword version can break, it can cut through a little bit of iron, which goes to show that this is a really strong weapon and a really strong sidearm. I think it's even stronger than the Gabble Revolver, obviously, due to the fact that this is a laser gun and the Gabble Revolver is a firearm, and, you know, laser guns tend to be a lot more powerful than firearms, you know what I'm saying? Star Wars. So anyways, I am going to be doing a shooting test, but they won't be like screen accurate noises, sadly. Now I could just go and just get a noise from the toy version of the AbaLaser, but I'm not going to do that. And I don't know if they ever released this in America, and I'm pretty sure even if they did release it, I'm not 100% sure, but if they did release the Thundersaurus Blaster, which is what this is called in Dino Thunder, if they released this in America, it probably would have either been bigger or slightly bigger than the Japanese version, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's smaller. So yeah, that's the AbaLaser / Thundersaurus Blaster. So the blade looks really freaking big and thick, and which it's supposed to be, well, as far as I know, like, it's supposed to be big. And due to the fact that I only want this to stay in gun mode and not want to make it into a sword, this was perfect. And the frame alone, the main reason why this took me so fast to make and to paint, more the paint actually than anything, is because that I had a lot of time on my hands. I have the L-Star, the Flatline, and the Prowler on my hands as well, which are not painted yet. I still got those on my hands, and the only one I've painted so far is the Flatline and L-Star. Well, I painted the L-Star very little, and I've painted some pieces with marker in on the Flatline. The Prowler has nothing painted in on there, so I'll get those painted soon, okay? So yeah, let's go ahead and do a little bit of a shooting test, alright? Let's test this thing and see how well it goes. I'll be using an E11 blaster noise for the AbaLaser, so yeah, let's do this. Alright, I'm going to stand back a little bit so you guys can see my whole frame of myself. So we're going to go ahead and shoot once, and we're going to see how well it does. Although I did say I was going to shoot it once, I shot it multiple times. So sadly, I can't transform this into a sword, and I'm never going to make the sword version of this unless I somehow have enough cardboard. Even listen, look at that shine. That shine right there. Oh, both sides too. And I try my best to get all this detail. This is probably the only part that drives me crazy in terms of the design. But you know, like, you didn't really expect me to fix that, like start the whole damn thing over and expect me to fix that. Like, really expect me to? Obviously not. So yeah, we're gonna rapid fire. Even though the toy, if you hold the trigger down, the shooting noise will continue, but I fail to believe that this is a fully automatic weapon. I still count this as semi-auto. So anyways, because this is by far the only fully automatic gun in Apex Legends. Oh my goodness. In Super Sentai is the 6th Ranger's gun from Ryu's Soldier. That's about the only fully automatic gun that I know of so far. So now we're gonna rapid fire this gun. Alright. So obviously I don't flinch with this because it's not, it's not that loud, but other than that, a little bit of bits and bobs here that left over. Look at that shine. I can't get over the shine in the camera. It looks so freaking cool. I will be doing like a first-person perspective type of thing where I will be like putting it in front of the camera so you guys can see it and the way I hold it in my hand. So now due to the fact that I can't transform this into a sword, the way to transform this into a sword is to, oh my goodness, these flies. You pull the handle back, and the blade, there's a little button here somewhere, like a little switch here where you can pull the handle back and the blade will go forward, which is a lot less complicated than the blade blaster and how you do that. Even though, because it's like the blade blaster, you have to pull the handle back like this, but you have to take the piece back and you have to press a button, which is a lot more complicated. I swear, these flies. They're getting into my nerves. Okay, so I think that does a little bit about it. Now, to look at the details. I shouldn't have done this at the very beginning of the video, but we're going to look at the details now. So, there's black under here, and it's not supposed to because it's supposed to be blue or like a metallic type of blue. And here, I didn't color this yet. Or probably never going to color this. The back, though, however, though, is the same. Like, it's different color. So, let's go into a first-person view and see what it looks like in my hand. So I have this on like wide mode where you guys can basically see everything. So this is literally what it looks like in my hand. I'm going to inspect it while walking. Nice one, right? And shooting. Now aiming to, now ADS. The ADS though doesn't look the best because this thing has no sights like that. Get a better shot for the camera. But so I guess it's better to hip fire, I guess. I don't know. So this is what it looks like in terms of the thing. Sadly, the barrels up front are not painted. Oh my goodness. They're not painted gold like the tips of the barrels. The tops aren't even, like the tops and bottoms of it are not even painted gold. It's just the sides. I guess it's just for show. But in this is what it looks like. And we're just going to aim down, up, and such. So that's what it looks like. That's the AbaLaser. So yeah, like the red and stuff, my fingers might be taking off a little bit of this gold trim, which is fine, but yeah. So basically the way I done this was with a whole bunch, was with a blue dry erase marker, which surprisingly enough stayed up here, which is this. I mixed it up with a little bit of permanent blue marker, which is drying out. So obviously silver marker, black acrylic paint, and a gold paint marker, which is what I painted the base of the gun, or the base of the pistol grip with. And obviously red marker for this and the such. So yeah, now let's get back to the thing over here and let's do my outro. what that's going to do it for today's video, guys. I had a lot of fun doing this, actually. But, I mean, this is probably one of my best creations of a prop I've ever made due to how accurate it is. I feel like I'm going to hit a bee, and I'm going to hit the wrong thing, and it's going to come back and sting me. But other than that, I don't know if that rhymed or not. But, yeah, so, you know, for anybody who thinks it's cool, you know, let me know in the comments down below. Even if you're not in the Super Sentai, just let me know, I guess. So, with that being said, if you guys oh my goodness, I'm having a seizure. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to comment, like, and or subscribe. If you guys want any more prop reviews, then, you know, just check out my prop review playlist, which I'm going to update today, because I'm going to have a few more. I already have a few more. Like, I have one prop review, which I did back early this year, and I never uploaded it. So, I'm not going to tell you what it is, what I reviewed it of. It's just that I might end up doing it soon. So, with that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.